Tonight, pressure is mounting on Attorney General Bill Barr amid allegations of political interference by the Department of Justice. In an open letter signed by more than 2,000 former DOJ officials from both Democratic and Republican administrations, they call on Barr to resign, arguing each of us strongly condemns President Trump's and Attorney General Barr's interference in the fair administration of justice. The controversy started after fallout from the Roger Stone case. The president's longtime friend was convicted of lying and witness tampering. The Attorney General overruled career prosecutors, several of whom quit the case in protest after Barr lowered the recommended prison sentence for Stone. That move came just hours after President Trump tweeted Stone's sentence was horrible and unfair. Tonight, John Flannery, a former federal prosecutor in the Southern District of New York, speaking out to NBC News, accusing Barr of working on behalf of the president.
He may not resign, but he should wear a red mark for the rest of his life for what he has done to this nation and to the notion of the rule of law.
The Attorney General denied he was coordinating with the White House and instead criticized the president's tweets about DOJ cases in a recent interview.
Public statements and tweets made about the department make it impossible for me to do my job.
Over the weekend, the White House insisting the president did not interfere.
The president hasn't done that. He said he hasn't done it. Bill Barr said he hasn't done it. He hasn't done it.
But now Democratic presidential candidates, including Joe Biden, are joining the chorus calling for the Attorney General to go.
Absolutely, positively. This has been most of.
And tonight, former National Security Advisor John Bolton is making his first public comments. 6 excerpts leaked of his upcoming book in which he allegedly says the president linked aid to Ukraine with investigating the Bidens. Bolton said he hopes his book gets published and is not, quote, suppressed by the White House, which is currently reviewing its content.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here. And click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.